town clerk has informed me that she had heard that the council is not planning to show up, at least 3 people are.
Would you please speak into the mic so we can at least record what happened?
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
so you're going to record this for the Granicus? This is going to be on the town website?
No, I just needed, in case anybody asks what happens, I'll have a recording of it, that's all.
Okay. Well, it is 7 o'clock, and I had called a special meeting of the town council to discuss some things that I had put on the last agenda, which was our regular council meeting last Tuesday. And after I had submitted those items for the agenda, the meeting was canceled because the council wasn't going to show up to that one either. So I called this meeting as a special meeting, and the topics to be discussed were regarding the resolution that the council made 2.5 years ago regarding communication with town staff, a resolution regarding communication with town staff. And my intent was to review the assertions and directives contained in that resolution and discuss any documented evidence which would substantiate the allegations that they made in that meeting and other meetings. And that was requested in a previous letter by my attorney. And in that letter, he wrote, should we not receive said legal authority within 10 days of the date of this correspondence, the mayor intends to call for a special meeting of the council to discuss any and all evidence presented which demonstrates the basis for the resolution barring him from non-public portions of town hall and prohibiting him from contact with staff regarding administrative matters. My second item was a discussion of the state statute 143-318.9, which has to do with public policy, and in particular, Article 33C, the meetings of public bodies and the council's compliance to that article. And then finally, I was hoping to review the ethics policy, just basically run through highlights of our town ethics policy. So that was the agenda, and it appears that the council has decided not to show up. And this is, some of you were here, I guess, last year when I called a similar special meeting. We were in the middle of budget discussions, and we had one budget talk, one budget meeting, and the council decided that that was enough. We didn't need any more. And we had 2 other budget meetings, plus a second meeting that month scheduled, and all 3 were canceled. And at that time, I called a special meeting to discuss the budget and the spending priorities. And many of you, I know, were there then, and were upset about those spending priorities. So this is the second time in my 4 years in office that I've called a special meeting, and both times those meetings were ignored by the town council majority. Now, the first one, John Hollinger, as you may recall, was here, and he and I conducted kind of a town hall style meeting, and we all had, I think, a pretty good time. But apparently the meeting will not be an official meeting, and so our town attorney and town manager are free to leave, especially our town attorney, because he's on the clock. And Ms. Piontek, you can shut it down if you like.
Okay.
And we'll, if anybody, what I'd like to do, basically, is to just make a brief statement that is the Granicus off now, ma'am?
No, sir, it's off. Everything's down.
Okay. Not that I have a problem, because we are recording this. But I do appreciate you all coming, and appreciate your interest in good government, in government that is for the people and honest and open. And that's what we should always be striving for, and I think our ethics policy speaks to that. We have a very good ethics policy, frankly, and if we could just follow it more closely as a body, I think it would instill a lot more confidence in the people. But you know, I've had a desire to kind of see myself vindicated from these allegations that I did somehow something wrong for them to justify banning me from town hall. They've avoided every opportunity to come forward and be open and honest about that. And, except by innuendo. And trust us, we discussed some of these things the mayor did in closed session. And that certainly was not the case. The state statute says that the activities, the character, the behavior of elected officials cannot be discussed in closed session. That's under 143-318 under public policy. All activities and behavior of elected officials must be discussed in open session. So we know that none of these things that they implied that I had done, whatever they were, because I've never heard of them, was as a result of closed session discussions. And so either they broke the law in discussing in closed session, or they have records of it in closed session, which we should be able to see. Because again, public behavior of officials should be able to be viewed by anybody, so it's got to be open record. So I would contend that there's nothing there. In fact, not too long ago, there was a meeting of the candidates and the Bonterra subdivision, a little bit of a rally, I guess. And one of our town members who, her name is Kathy Broom, she got up in that meeting and claimed that one of the reasons they had banned me from town hall was because I was going into the town hall at night and going through people's desks. That was a first for me. I'd never heard of that one before. By the way, I still have a key to town hall. They never took it away. You know, you'd think that if I was banned from town hall, they'd take my town hall key away, but I have a key to town hall. So if I wanted to get in there, I could. Yeah, that was the first one. So, I mean, this has been an evolving thing. You know, it's whatever seemed to be expedient at the time and salacious. That's what they'd say. You know, there's always something new. But I will say unequivocally that I've not done anything such as that, and nothing to justify them banning me from town hall, and that the allegations are completely false. They were never discussed in closed session. And John Hollinger was the only honest individual who were on the record in the Charlotte Observer, a news article, which could be found on my website, johnquinn.people.com, where he talked about why he voted against it and called the whole thing garbage. And that was because nothing was ever discussed, either in open or closed session. And he was the only guy that was telling the truth. So the length that people will go to shut someone down who doesn't agree with them is just off the chart. Regarding the resolution makes certain assertions that first, the mayor has engaged in various interactions with town employees where the staff believes the mayor has given them direction with respect to a matter. Now, if anyone's ever called town hall and asked for clarification of code or information, I believe they're giving someone some kind of direction or asking them to do something for them. That was never told to me what it was that what I had done. The staff wasn't identified, nor was the direction that I gave them. I don't know what they were talking about. It also says the current mayor has also engaged in tape recording various conversations with town employees. I'd like them to prove that, because the only employee that I ever told that I was going to record conversations was our town clerk, as a result of a situation we had, and I told her that whenever she called me as the interim town manager, that I would be recording the conversations. I thought I'd give it that first. Just so everything was on the record and true, because I wanted to make sure that everything was being documented. So that's not true. Various conversations with town employees. I don't know that there's any evidence of that whatsoever. So on the basis of those two things, that they thought that I provided some direction to somebody or recorded various conversations, I was banned from town. And then, so that's pretty much that. The other two items were basically just, there's a number of different things that have been done that weren't as per the statutes for a meeting. In the July 26th meeting this year, Mr. Goodall took control of the meeting with the help of our town attorney, and declared that the mayor, and it was voted unanimously, that I was out of order in insisting that I be able to speak. The council was interviewing candidates supposedly for the vacant seat, and they didn't want me to be able to speak to them. So Mr. Goodall was told by our town attorney that it was appropriate for him to make a motion, and they continued to say that if I wanted to speak, I would be hauled out of here by security. That means the sheriff's office. They're apparently security to the council. Well, that didn't happen either. But during that exchange where he and I were going back and forth, Mr. Goodall turned to our town clerk and said, "I want this deleted from the Granicus." And at around 35 minutes of the meeting, the Granicus microphones were turned off without any break being announced, which I believe is illegal. The statute says that you're supposed to, if you're going to record, you're supposed to do it and have it accurately describe what the meeting is about. Apparently he had said something he wasn't too excited for people to hear. So he told her he wanted it deleted, and apparently it was, because I don't remember, it's not there anymore. And there's about a minute and a half of dead air right in the middle of the discussion. And when it comes back on, I'm talking about an incident in Forsyth, Arizona, where the mayor was put out of town as well and arrested by the police chief. This is one where the police chief did what they told him, and that's the reason why I really like the fact that we have a sheriff's office who's accountable to the people, not accountable to a group of town council people who will tell them to do something that is illegal or wrong. In the case of this, they did ask for the security to take me out of here, and apparently the sheriff was called, and he sent his the sheriff's office attorney here, and he communicated to the town staff through the attorney that if that was tried, that he would shut down the meeting. The deputies would shut down the meeting and everyone would go home. Because I wasn't doing anything wrong. And he waited around for me until I came out of that meeting at 11:15. I didn't know who he was, I never met him. And I talked to him on the phone, and he told me that he had been sent down there to do the right thing. And I'm grateful, because otherwise I would have probably been carried out of here in handcuffs for what Mr. Allen called defying the will of the council. We have little tyrants here, folks. We have a group of tyrants who believe that if you don't agree with them, you deserve to be shut down. Your voice is suppressed, and if you continue to persist like I have in trying to say what I believe and represent the folks that I feel very committed to, then you're slandered, then you're maligned, and your reputation is ruined. And the whole idea is to get people to back down and go away. And it's been very difficult for me to hang in here, as one might expect, but I felt a commitment to do so, and I'm very happy. I've got 6 weeks left. And if I've done anything to just maybe raise the awareness of the need for ethical, honest local government in a few people, then I suppose that's all I was supposed to do. So I'm going to turn it over to anybody who wants to speak. Yes.
I have been scoffing at these people ever since you became mayor. I have not understood why they behaved the way they did. I have not understood the way they have persecuted you and tried to make you look like you were a crook or insane. Never heard of anybody on a council bringing in a supposed psychologist to bring all these stupid comments about you and then even write a letter to the paper. No real psychologist would ever do anything of that nature. They're bound by their rules and their laws. If he'd get kicked off. So I don't believe this man was who they said he was in the first place. In the second place, I know you and I know how honest you are. And I know how you live your life. You and Beth both. And the only thing that I can think of is that there's some underhanded business going on that they don't want you to know about so that you can bring it to and that people can see what could be going on underhandedly in the city council. Now, I'm to the point now where I don't trust any of them on that. None of them. And I hope and pray that when the people of this town go back to vote again, that they will really pray about who they vote for. And I hope a really decent, honest man is running for mayor like you. Because I hate to think of what's going to happen to Indian Trail. Prices are going to go up, taxes are going to go even further, and some of the other things that they're trying to do. Why do they want to get rid of the sheriffs? For heaven's sakes, they're fantastic. They do a great job. How did they go over and help fix the building for them whenever that building was, the former library was turned over? You did. None of them did. And I thought, my gosh almighty, you go help, you'll save money for the town. Yes, sir. They were going to help. And I just don't, I cannot comprehend people that have the kind of mentality that seems to me to be very sneaky and underhanded and determined to do what they want regardless of what the people of the town want. Because they're trying to push too much and going to raise the taxes where people right now don't need it.
Well, you know, we're
Too many
talking,
people out of work.
you bring a point up here that I want to comment on. We have bond issues before the people. And the justification for these bonds, first I'll mention is parks. During our survey, the town did a survey early this year and asked if the people would favor a $3 million bond to help establish a park system, parks, plural, around the town. And 60-some-odd% said, yes, we would, or we'd be, inclined to do that. What we got was a $4.5 million bond to upfit one park. And granted, it's a nice piece of property. But I think there are other ways that we can achieve this without having to raise taxes, which is what a bond does. It raises taxes to basically pay off a debt. So I just really question the process by which that was got out. And the people will vote on it, certainly. But to imply that that's what the folks had said they wanted in the survey is not the case, because it was a different question. The second bond is a bond, $7 million for unspecified road improvements. I have a problem with that because frankly, ma'am, I don't trust them either. And I don't trust them to do the right thing with my money. And if these roads were identified, or these intersections were identified where this $7 million was going to go, then I'd have something to go on. Say, these are the things that are important to the town, and these are the areas, because I've looked at roads and I've been on the transportation committee, I have some knowledge of what we need. But whether they're going to get it done, it leaves it open-ended as to where that money's going to go. I want definitive spending priorities listed for that money. And the last thing is the $10 million. This will total $21.5 million in bonds and debt. But the $10 million for the widening of Old Monroe Road. What I'm not hearing being discussed on that is the fact that the Department of the DOT, North Carolina Department of Transportation, has already committed and funded, it's in the process right now, of widening Old Monroe Road up to Indian Trail Road. And I had something to do with that. I, being the representative of the town for the MUMPA organization, I worked with the mayor of Stallings, the mayor of Mint Hill, who was chairman of the organization, and the DOT. We had a number of meetings, and our directive from the DOT to make that happen was that both town councils be united, and that money had been previously allocated for road improvements here in the towns could remain in those towns as long as, and it's been never done, by the way. If you don't accept a road improvement project and you want to change it to some other project, because we had that money already allocated, generally it goes back into the pot and you lose it. It's never, as far as I know, it's never happened that they allowed towns to keep money in their towns and put it on a different project they thought was more important. And that was a great, I'm very proud of that accomplishment. And that's been done. It's on the map. Now, the second leg is a approved project, which would be from Indian Trail Road down to Sun Valley, but it's on the 16 to 18 horizon, 2016, 2018 horizon. It's not funded. But in my conversations with the DOT, I've been told that they recognize they really can't, in good conscience, build a road, 4 lanes, and stop at Indian Trail Road and wait 2 more years and come back. So they're going to do everything they can do to get that done, with or without the $10 million. And I made that specific. I said, if we throw in $10 million, can that happen more likely? And he said, well, it never hurts. But we can't guarantee it. But what we do recognize is we need to get that done. We can't just leave that undone. And I said, with or without the $10 million, you want to do it? He said, yes. So I wonder what the thought process was in deciding about the $10 million when no one's ever, I mean, if the DOT told us, you guys come up with $10 million, you put it before your people, and we'll get that done by, at the same time we do the other leg, which is already funded and approved. Then I could see it. But as far as I know, there's been no conversations. And I've also been told by other folks that the plan is in place, that they're going to go ahead and do the road, with or without the $10 million. Hallelujah. So we don't have to necessarily raise taxes. So I have a fundamental problem with some of the processes. Sir?
I'm going to step up here because I want to speak to everybody. Some of you have been to the town council here in the past, for not too distant past. I looked at something and I saw where the ABC board had authorized the opening of the ABC store. I want to tell you all, I'm not against the ABC store. Just where it's located. State statute says that they shall have a dedicated law enforcement officer. It also says that a ABC store cannot be put in close proximity of a church, a school, or a daycare center. I sent an email to all of them, including the mayor, stating exactly what state statute says. Not calling names, not saying anything at all about anybody. Just saying, as a concerned citizen, I read the article about the law enforcement on the ABC store and did my own research. I stated the state statutes and asked the town council why they were in violation of the state statutes. I received 2 responses. One response was from Mr. Allen. I spent 26 years on active duty in the United States Navy, and I swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I spent 15 years teaching Navy Junior ROTC and Providence High School and Charlotte-Mecklenburg school systems, still wearing that uniform. I wore the uniform from the age of 17 to the age of 60. I have never in my life received such a disrespectful answer to an email than I received from Mr. Allen.
Amen.
He called me a pig.
What?
In an official email. Miss Luther was the other one that answered it. And all she could give me was all this rhetoric, and she called me a Quinnite. All these people can do is call the citizens of Indian Trail names and make accusations that are not true. I'm willing to show anybody in this room, anytime, the full email. It finally got to the point where they just told me, sit down and shut up. The state ABC board commission basically told me, even though it says within close proximity, that they can put an ABC store anywhere they want to, up to 50 feet from a school, a church, or a daycare center, and they can do whatever they want. Now here's what I want you to understand. The local ABC board, and they said it last week, was very proud of them They gave $35,000 to the ALE, which is their dedicated law enforcement, instead of our local sheriffs. And they do absolutely nothing. And you can look on the state requirements of the reports, and from our illustrious ABC board here in Indian Trail, it's all zeros, or it's not submitted. ABC board works for these people. Okay? They are supposed to work for us. The state ABC commission is appointed by the governor, but they have no oversight either. So our problem is any law enforcement, any rules, any regulations, anything we say, they just ignore. They think that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, and they will do everything in their power to quiet you down. That's what they did to me, and I've got a whole list of that email. I am going to demand a letter of apology from every member of the city council and the city of Indian Trail for those 2 ethic violations in accordance to their own ethic policy and not following what they say. I want their resignation.
Yes.
You need to send that in an article to the paper.
I have.
To the Charlotte Observer?
Who's speaking next?
They ignore it.
I was here at the last town council meeting, and I asked for Mr. Allen's resignation. I even asked him to apologize to Mr. Spur. He had an opportunity to do so in his public comments. He chose not to. That's a new mistake in his behalf. Also, Ms. Luther, she's doing the name calling again. And if I find out she's calling me names personally, I will attack her personally. So be it. I'm drawing the line in the sand. No more unethics in Indian Trail anymore. I'm sorry for Mr. Stanton for being involved in this. So help me, I am. I really am. He's a good man of character. Personally, very professional. And you can attest to that. I'm so sorry. I warned him last week. Be careful who you associate with.
He does not associate with anyone.
I
He is
understand.
himself. He is his own man,
I
and he
understand.
associates with his wife, which is me.
Yes.
I'm Mrs. Stanton, proud Mrs.
Where is he
Stanton.
tonight? Where is he?
And he has,
Why
there's
wouldn't he
something
want to
going
come and
on.
meet with
Let her speak, Mayor, please. Let her speak. Go ahead.
His family, his wife, that's who he associates with.
Ma'am,
I
he
am
sent
so
us-
sorry.
He
I
sent us an
really am.
email.
And-
I'm sorry, listen, he sent us an email saying he was going to be with you tonight.
No, he didn't.
I wish I brought it. If anybody wants it, they can see it.
But again, anytime you go on the radio, go on the media, and this gets out, they want to use the accusations that you have a psychological problem, or you're going for sensationalism, and whatever the comments are. And it's not going to happen anymore. I can assure you of this. I don't care who wins the election. God bless them, okay? But I'm letting you know for the record, I personally will be watching all of the council members and the mayor, town manager, whoever. I will do so. If I have to keep you honest, if I have to be your conscience, so be it.
Yep.
Because the council created me. Okay, I didn't have any interest in politics until the last year because the theater's right at my front door. I found out Mr. Allen, Miss Luther, in the newspaper specifically said they had communication with the Stone Theater Group. They have phone records. They have emails. I asked the manager for those documents. He said there's nothing on file. Twice I've been told that. Nothing. But yet they have it in Union County Weekly. It's in there, in the paragraph. Go on the website. It's there. So I'm still, Mr. Manager, I'm still looking for those documents. If there's still no documents, we will have a grand jury or whoever has to. We're going to investigate. If not, they're lying in the media, then so be it. I want them to defend themselves. But again, they're not here to defend themselves. Where are they?
First of all, they don't have any backbone, so they can't kill them.
I'm sorry, they do have a backbone. My husband has a backbone.
Why do you?
Why are they here?
Why do you?
Should be here.
Well, there's
Why is
something
it
going
every
on.
time the two of them, they just bring bad news? Everything in the news is bad about
And
them.
everything's sensationalism in the media. For
Exactly.
two in particular. And it's going to stop. It will stop. Like I said, they created me. And if I'm the one that has to be the voice, then so be it. I need help knowing this. We need to get the town back.
You got our help, yes.
We need to get it back.
Gone too long.
And I said, whoever his personal bet is with the mayor, that's fine. I don't agree with the mayor with everything either, okay? For the record. And then we can testify to that. I don't agree with everything my wife has to say. She can testify to that too. But we got to bring stability to it. And another thing, speaking of that, I've emailed Mr. Goodall several times. I still have yet to get an email response from him. Never. Even through his campaign website. Nothing. His excuse was Mr. Stanton created the website, and for some reason he's not receiving these emails. This is a conversation in his front yard 2 weeks ago. All right, I said, well, I'm still waiting. I said, I'm sure Mr. Stanton appreciates you throwing him under the bus like that since the website's not working correctly. Next week, I asked him at the political forum in Sun Valley Auditorium. I'm still waiting for my answer on your campaign website. His excuse, my dog died. That's fine. I said, I'm sorry. I've had pets pass away myself, too. Still no excuse. He still can give me a response. Again, where is he hiding? He wants to be mayor? Then prove it now as Mayor Pro Tem. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to hide. Why can't he address the situation, anybody? Why does he man up and respond to the citizens, the residents, which his signs are so belovedly letting him be known? It matters. What matters now? Act like it. Not later, now. So I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Robin Fosdell, and I chose to get involved last year because 2 members of the council called my husband Chicken Little publicly on a public website, on a public forum, and I turned to my husband and said, really? Interesting. I thought we live in a country where we pay our taxes, we have the rights, and if we disagree with somebody, we have that right to voice our own opinion. Apparently, some members on town council felt that name calling was the best method. We're reverting back to kindergarten now. I do not like to get involved with this mudslinging, this is disgusting. However, do not smear my good name. I married a very good man over there. We pay our taxes, we do right. We were caregivers to an 86-year-old Marine veteran. Okay? Trust me, I know what it is to do a hard job. These are elected members by the people. The people should have the right to voice an opinion, whatever the forum is. However, do not name call. I've never name called. Not once have they ever tried to extend an olive branch to try to say, let's try to find common ground. We may not agree, but let's find common ground. They have chosen not to do this. They have their own personal agendas. I did write something tonight, hoping that 2 members were going to be here. Because as I stated last time, when you have relations, you cannot tell me that they will not agree a certain way. Okay? It's a conflict of interest. It is not good for the town. I don't care what you do behind closed doors in your home, but you are bringing it to my town that I pay taxes in. Sanity has been brought up a lot this last year, and I need to redirect to part of my letter. Okay, Ms. Luther and Mr. Allen once again are in the spotlight because of their own actions, not because of mine. They both stated on several occasions that they have a genuine fear and a concern for their safety. They have been quoted numerous times in different venues that they have a concern and fear for their safety. then my question to the both of them would be, why would you pursue an individual with your own vehicle, running back and forth from Indian Trail and Stallings? A sane person would have called 911. I would. Even engaging in a chase, you would use your cell phone. I'm sure we all have them. Dial 911. Give the description over the phone. Why engage in a chase? Let the police handle that business. That is their job. The definition from Merriam-Webster's dictionary, the definition of vigilante: a noun, a member of a volunteer committee organized to suppress and punish crime similar, as when the processes of law are viewed as inadequate, a self-appointed doer of justice. Last time I checked, they both were not sworn officers of the law. Taking the law into your own hands poses two concerns. One, this has the potential to be a very dangerous outcome. And two, I question their sanity. Again, I reiterate, if you fear for your safety, then let the law do their job and catch the dangerous individual. If you have uncomfortable feelings, then maybe it is time to reflect on how important your elected positions really are and focus on working out those feelings. There are many good people of Indian Trail that would have the clarity and the direction to facilitate the needs of Indian Trail. It would appear that your feelings of safety overrun your ability to listen to the people who elected you. As for gathering with fellow council members, potential candidates for council, I'll leave that to the hands of the law, as I do not have a law degree. However, I do have a vote that will make a difference. Thank you.
I'm going to say something, and I'm going to stand here because I was here once, long time ago, with town council, for those of you who do not know. I'm here to, first of all, thank you for all you've done for our town for the last 4 years. I know you've done so much. Okay, every time I heard things, I read emails, and I used to say, been there, done that. And let me tell you something. You know what your biggest problem is? You're too honest. Yeah. Honesty does not sit on this chair. Believe me, I was there once. I was belittled. I attended illegal meetings that I regretted. I was approached about once that a mayor was getting under the table some X amount of money, and I stood all by myself. Because even the people that told me, yeah, go for it, I asked that that money should have been returned to our town because that was our town money, because that was your money. Because that way I told everybody, I can look at the people of Indian Trail that voted for me and say, I'm working for you. I'm not working for anybody else. I was approached by the town clerk, maneuvered by the town manager in those days. They sent that person to my school where I was a teacher to ask me, not to ask the mayor to return that money. And I said, no. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's so hard to believe that more illegal things are going on in Indian Trail. They're destroying, these people are destroying our town. I emailed the mayor once when our town was one of the best 10 towns in the United States. However, 2 weeks later, I said, I'm taking back my email. It's not true, because soon after that, and my French, all hell broke loose with what was going on here with these town council people. They put us to shame, okay? As far as being a family town, how could you? When they're breaking their own families. How dare they say, yeah, this is a family town? No, that's not my idea of a family town. So, as far as I'm concerned, these people, and I'm telling you, pray to God, to vote for the right people for this opening now, because it's gonna be destroyed. I was asked by many people to run for mayor, because the people that voted for me for council, they liked the way I was. I told people, if there are 100 town council members, and 99 are voting for something that I don't believe in, because I may be little, but I am a rock. When I believe in something, I'm gonna stand by myself if I have to. I don't care, because I only have one person to respond to. And that's the guy up there and the people that elected me. I can look at the people in the eye and say, I'm working for you. And so that's what you did wrong. You did not get involved with the crooked things that should have been. You should have been saying, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, amen. You did it wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, you know what? You're living here with your head high up there and saying, I did what I could. I did my best. And so for that, I applaud you and I thank you. And I was going to come next week. What is that, gentleman? I need your email, please, sir. My son is in the Army, and I know what it is like for you to go and do the fighting for us. And in the meantime, in our little towns, all the crooked things that are going on. I need your email, please, so that I'll be with you. And as far as the ABC, funny that you should mention, because 4 years ago, we had a big meeting with the ABC board, and they told us exactly what you said. In those days, we were to vote, and of course, I voted against it. I didn't want an ABC in my town. Okay? Because I don't know. How many millions have we made, by the way? I thought we were going to make millions with the ABC store.
I think it was $34,000.
I purposely buy my ABC, I visit the ABC in Mecklenburg County. I don't want to give my money to my I do, that's my problem, because I didn't want that ABC store here. But anyway, thank you for everything. Okay?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Gracias.
You know, here today with us also is Shirley Howe, former council member, who served on the same council 2 years with Mercedes. And
Yeah, sure.
Ms. Howe, do you have anything to add? I mean, you were there, and you know, Mercedes referred to you with regard to her, you know, when she stood to have the mayor return money that was paid to her.
$5,600, by the way, for years.
And I understand that, you know, you were for having her return. In fact, you told me at the time you thought it was gross, flat-out embezzlement, fraud, you know, theft, along with the other employee that had taken a lot more money.
No, excuse me. I may add, the thing was that I was told, because I voted no, she should return, it was $5,600. I was told, okay, we're not going to give her the money anymore. Okay, well, what am I going to do? I was happy with no more. Guess what? To find out later on, when I left town council, that the woman kept on getting the $200 a month under the table from the town manager. Our money. I don't know how long. I don't know how much, and I don't care anymore. Because I figure if she needs it, if she needs it so much, thank God I don't need any money under the table. And yeah, Shirley was the one that found out that money was being given to the men, to the
And I always wondered why they didn't vote to have it returned when they said they thought it was illegal. But if you don't want, I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, I'm not going to answer anything because we're getting part stories here, and
Well,
there's no one
you
here
have an
to
opportunity to tell me.
defend themselves either.
Okay.
It's your opinion. I'm listening to it.
Mr.
Pardon me?
And if I may,
Yeah.
Ms. Stan, I want to thank you for coming tonight. And I sent Roger an email last night. Actually, it was a private message on Facebook. And I want to share part of that with you, to the best of my memory.
I honestly don't want to hear it.
Okay.
I
I'll
mean,
tell him that.
this is getting into political.
No.
And
bear with me.
it is getting into political, and you're here,
Ma'am,
I mean,
It's a free forum. You're free, you know, anybody's free to say what
So-
they want to say. And listen, I'll tell you one thing about your husband.
no,
I know these folks would embrace him if he showed up here. They're not going to disrespect him. These people have respect for the office, unlike some of the people that sit on this, they have respect for the officers.
Mayor,
people
I'm
who-
sorry, but you
and-
guys don't know what's going on.
Well,
With he
I
had
would-
prior engagements
ma'am.
that he tried to stop,
okay, well,
but he couldn't.
okay, that's fine, but.
I mean, he is
he said
trying
he was
to
gonna
keep
you.
a family of 6
He is welcome to
afloat.
speak with any group and should be, as elected officials, we should be open to speak with anybody and be open and honest with anybody and transparent. You know, and for whatever reason he's not here, glad you're here.
Well, any father would understand why he was not here.
Well, I don't know why he wasn't here.
No.
I am a father.
Well, that aside, at the end of the day, these people are people. I don't care what they do in their own house. I don't care what extends within the walls of their lives. But when it affects ours, then I think it's a concern. Now, Mr. Stanton, when he goes home at night, goes home to a wife that loves him, goes home to children that look up to him. He is a man. He is the leader of his family. That is a very important thing. And it tears me up, the way politics works sometimes. I think conflict is necessary to a point. It keeps it from... There's conflict and there's dysfunction. What we have now is dysfunction. That needs to change. If I'm not elected, that's fine, as long as that's fixed. I want functional government. I want people to go home after representing what they believe, not an agenda, what they feel, not something guided. And I want to know that the people here are respected. Mr. Quinn, I've been called a Quinnite. I've been called a right-wing extremist paramilitary nut job in the newspaper recently by a psychologist.
So-called.
Bless your heart. This gentleman right here is an honorable man. I'm proud to know him. I'm proud to say that I support him. Do I agree with him? Not all the time. But he can't be perfect. No, I'm just kidding. I can help it.
If anybody agrees with me all the time, then they need to say.
Seriously though, seriously, all joking aside. But Mayor Quinn has been through the ringer, you all know that. And I don't want to see the office of the mayor disrespected regardless of the outcome. I don't want to see retribution. I don't want to see this legacy continue. No matter what the outcome. Represent principle. Fight for principle. Fight against principle. Don't vote for or against any particular person. Principle only. If you don't stick to what guides you and what you value, then you know better than the rest. I just want to share that because it just politics nauseates me, that part of it. And it's very tempting. It's very easy to get sucked into this smarmy. It's because we have this nature within every one of us to fight, you know. But these men and women, whether you agree with them or not, whether you like them or not personally, they are elected officials. And no, I do not agree with what has been done against our mayor. And I think what bothers me most about it is the disrespect of the office.
That's right.
If you remove the emotions, and you remove the politics from this room, what do you have left? Law. That's what needs to govern us. Just laws. Uphold the laws, the just ones, and if they aren't just, remove them. That's the job of the council.
We can
Mr. Lindley, did you want to speak?
Yeah, just these three things. My name is Alan. I live in Ollie Park. Three things I don't understand. The first thing is widening the highway. I was I had a taxi limo business for over 20 years, and I know roads. And to put a 4-lane road in, another one, that one on Chestnut, that makes no sense either. Why create a highway to go into a dead end? Indian Trail Road up here is a dead end. It's a bottleneck. Even if they expanded a 4-lane highway all the way to Monroe, then what? There's no outlet. Why don't they use 218? It's already there. It's very slowly used. I mean, it's a beautiful highway. From Charlotte, there must be some way to cut over to 218. I don't know.
That was discussed, but they determined they didn't want to do that. One of the reasons.
All right. The second thing is the town police department. That makes absolutely no sense either. We have a sheriff's department which has they have a lot of services and things that they can rely on that a private town police department wouldn't have. I believe the sheriff's department is state, right?
No, sure, they're a county.
Well, they got resources that's, and if we had a town police department, we'd have to buy cars, insurance, we'd have to build a building.
That doesn't make sense at all.
Mega bucks.
None of it does.
Mega, yeah.
And the third thing is, what check is on the town council, or even the mayor for that matter? Who do we go to? They did have a referendum for wine and beer, I think, there a while back, a couple of years ago. Why would they ramrod a town police department down our throats without a referendum? It seems to me there's things, and there's all this development that's going on. We have a lot of retired people in Brandon Oaks and Holly Park, and the price of movies and popcorn and soda and everything, very few people, well, I can't say very few, I can't generalize, but I know a lot of people can't afford movies no more. They can rent videos.
Right.
So it's just a lot of things that just don't make any sense. Also, this development. Development is another thing. What business, where you hire employees, would pay a livable wage for a man and children? Maybe the manager of this theater or the assistant manager would get a livable wage, but nobody else would. So a lot of these things just doesn't make any sense to me. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Mr. Albert?
I'm gonna steal your podium, Mark. Since you're talking to everybody here.
Mayor candidate. Next mayor.
Well, I'm sure the mayor's grateful for everybody to come and give him a chance to have this ethics meeting. And part of it has gotten a little sidetracked and become a little political. And when I, just 1 second, I was throwing it in to be part of this town and be part of something big and use my knowledge and my experience to better a town that's done so much for me. I did not expect to walk into Peyton Place and to dysfunction and to be part of everything that's making my head explode. It is to the point where it's embarrassing to my family. It's embarrassing to probably all 8 of the candidates out there, with the exception of the one that's probably behind it all. Sorry, John, but I can't beyond a shadow of a doubt say I'm a Quinnite, nor did I get recruited by you. So that's just.
I'd like to say that nobody here has ever been recruited by me.
I've written when I posted for the open council seat that was given to Mr. Stanton, and I will state publicly, I believe it was probably given to a very good gentleman who's answered everything professionally and the way you'd want a council member to answer every question I've ever asked him. And politically, he's the only one that has had the man enough to stand up and argue with me and still walk away shaking hands. So please don't bash. He's not here to defend himself, and I'm sure, knowing Roger as little as I do, but what I do know of him, if he could, he would be here and he would stand to take every bullet anybody threw at him. That's a real man there, and I commend him. As far as the rest of the council not showing up, if this was truly an ethics meeting to come in, talk about something, and to show the mayor what he did wrong, which I'm not involved, so I'm not involved with what happened there. then any person that knows they're right would show up and defend it. If you don't show up, you leave the perception that you're wrong and you're hiding something. So either, the ones that were involved on the council in it, if you can't show up and defend your actions and show them, then I have no respect for that. That's just my opinion. You have only one way to vote for it. After I had went for the open council seat, I sent an email to all the council members and to the town manager, sorry, Joe, thanking them for, I believe, the town manager, for allowing me to, and also voicing my opinion as a resident to the embarrassment of when on that night, the mayor can't ask questions, the mayor can't do this. And Mayor Quinn will attest to the fact that I lashed out at him too for putting me on the spot. Mayor Quinn got in my face over it. We walked away shaking hands. I respect that. I have my reasons. Several council members didn't respond at all. One wanted to be my best friend and get into my head and know me. And one wrote a really nasty email defending and telling me I don't know anything about this form of government. I don't know this, I don't know that. I'd like to thank that council member for knowing more about me than I do. Different things written in the newspaper about me. I'd like to thank the people that tell me my opinion before I ever met them. That's wonderful. You want to know about me? There's plenty of time to come outside and talk to me. If I win the election, I'll answer my phone. I'll take any bullet you give me, and I will own up to everything I do, wrong or right. If I do something wrong, I'll be the first one to admit it and get past it. Mayor Quinn, I've not known you very long, but you're a good, honest man. I don't always agree with your delivery of things, and some things come across to me as a little nutty. Some statements, but I would take a bullet for you any day. As a man. Your heart's in the right place. And I know you don't always agree with the way I do things, because I will not, ever, under any circumstance, trash somebody that's not there to defend themselves. Whether I know they're wrong, whether I have all the evidence in the world that they are not there, I don't have an opinion about it. The fact of the matter is, since I threw my hat into the race, there has been dysfunction, there's been arrogance, there has been, I want to pretend I'm this politician and God of the world, and I got people following me. Problem is, there are people looking up to this person and thinking of them like they're a mentor. Well, all I have to say to the people about that, be careful who you have mentor, because they may be Satan themselves and have an ulterior motive. There are things this town needs, there's just things that town wants. You need to separate your needs from your wants. And to have a group of people here, such a small group of people that care so passionately about one way or the other, it doesn't work unless you spread the word of what's right and what's wrong on what people stand for. Take the names out until you read what they stand for and you hear what they stand for. Then find out who said it and what you agree with, then you choose who you vote for. And if the vote doesn't go out and the vote continues the way it is, the people chose what they have. And if you want change, you have to push change. So it depends on who you like. And as far as everybody being from around the same area, those are the people that voted and put them there. That's not an issue. And it shouldn't be an issue. If you don't want that, ask for districts. If you don't want that, get out and vote. We can't sit here and complain for another 4 years if you put people you don't want in there. Like David said there, vote for me, don't vote for me. I'm going to go home to my family either way. And I'm going to be happy. If I win the election and I have that job of mayor of Indian Trail, I answer to 3 higher powers than me. 1 is my children, my wife, and my family. 2 are the residents of Indian Trail, and 3 are my God. And if they're not proud of me when I sleep at night, then I did not do a good job. Period. My opinion does not matter if I'm in that position, nor does my agenda. There are 30,000 residents that would mean more than that. And that's what I stand for. And I appreciate everybody coming out here. That's real ethics as far in my eyes. Ethics is opened up to interpretation. I have to take 2 ethics classes every year and pretty much sleeping through during them because it's the same rhetoric every year. It's open to a person's interpretation. I appreciate you trying to put this under, but obviously I'd like to publicly state my opinion here that since they did not show up, with the exception of one who's not involved, Mr. Stanton, please don't involve him in any of this. He's not. Did not show up. The accusers, the ones that banned him, or whatever they did to you, then I'm left to leave one conclusion only, that they were the wrong ones because they were not here to defend themselves. And there's nothing at this point that's going to change my mind from that decision. Like I said, I can see the facts. They refused to give their side. We stood here like a man. So,
That's the
I will leave you alone.
Yeah, who's behind the signs that are on Old Monroe, the black signs that aren't labeled by anyone? Is there a town ordinance that requires if you have a,
Good point.
who's funding it?
Good point.
Does anybody know?
You know, that's a very good point. I never even thought of that.
It's very deceiving.
Oh,
I mean,
referendum
to
signs?
vote, to widen.
To widen.
No, they're black signs.
I believe it falls under North Carolina campaign finance law, I believe.
But don't you have to have someone?
If it's a sign encouraging political action,
It is.
I believe it is supposed to have a disclosure
Yeah,
statement.
there's nothing.
There's
So it looks
nothing,
like
yeah.
it's handmade.
There's like 3 signs right in a row. It says, do you not like, you hate traffic or
Just
something?
hate traffic.
Yeah, if you're sitting here in traffic, vote for the bonds, and,
Yeah.
the thing that bothered me when I saw that was that's the part of the road that's already approved
Right.
and funded by the DOT to be widened.
Well, there's more signs down by
Was there?
CVS today.
Mr. Fivas, do you have anything to say about the town code enforcement on that, or could you?
No, we can look into that. It's a good point.
Yeah, because there's nothing, there's just black signs. That's it.
Yeah, there's also a white sign, I think it's white and red, that says, and I can't remember because I glanced by it, vote for the bonds or vote for a referendum, and I think it gives a number, but it's also, there's nothing underneath it as well. And it's in the same general area as the black or blue sign as well. So I thought that was kind of strange.
It is, I've seen same
I mean,
sign.
that's the kind of thing that,
Right.
that's the kind of thing that, just doesn't look good when certain people are able to get away with it.
I forgot, you brought up a good point before. Would the town police department be subordinate to town council?
Yes.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Well, I'll
Lucky
tell
to
you-
get that.
Let me tell you something about town police departments. I've done a fair amount of study on this, because when I decided to run for office, the folks that had recruited me, one being Shirley House sitting back there, and Dan Shanahan, they said they supported the sheriff's office contract, and I didn't know anything about contracts. I didn't know anything about the difference between a police department and contract, and as far as I knew, we had a police department. So I did some research, and I've done a fairly good amount of research, myself and John Honer, who is no longer here. And I determined rather quickly that we have among the best deal in the United States of America, cost for service. Right now, we have 18 officers. A town our size generally has 51 officers, the average town our size. And of course, they get help with the zone coverage that the county provides at large, but the job that they're doing on such a short staff is commendable, at least. And Jim, if I can recognize you, Jim Houston, former New York City detective, very knowledgeable. He sat on he served on our public safety committee. When he was appointed, along with another New York City retired officer, I was a little concerned that the bent was going to be, we need to start a police department. Because I had done my research, and I was convinced. I've talked to people all over the country. And Jim turned out to be one of the biggest fans of what we have here. He recognized the value that we have. But one thing that I asked everybody when I first started looking into this, I said, why, if we can get service through a contract, at the cost we are, and we're getting good service, why would we want a police department? And the first answers that came from municipal leaders and other people around, all around, the state, school of government, managers of cities, was control. You get more control. And I found later that could be a good thing, that could be maybe not so good. When you have a group of people that can control chief, you can get them, you can get the deputy or the officers to haul the mayor out of the meeting, like they tried to do in July with me. Or arrest the mayor as they did in Quartzsite, Arizona, because he wanted records they wouldn't give him. And they didn't like him asking too many questions. Or it could mean that you have more control over specific services you would like to see provided in the town by your law enforcement people. And that can be an issue where a police department might end up being an option because you want specific services that the agency providing the service doesn't want to give you. They just don't have it, for whatever reason. But this agency has made it clear that they're willing to provide any service that we want. In fact, I've been told by folks in the sheriff's office that we can provide any service a police department provides you, and we can do it better if you give us a chance. So I believe them, and I think they've earned the trust of our folks, and I think they've shown that they are willing to do that. And that was really the summary, to close on this, it was a summary of the UNCC study that we had down in police services. They compared our town with 9 other towns that have police departments. And that survey, that study, called on other studies that had already been done. And the study basically said that if the agency is willing to provide the service that you want, and you're getting it at a much better cost, and you're happy with their service, end of story. That's a good contract, and there's no reason not to continue. And that was a summary of this service. And we're getting this study. We're getting the service. What can we ask for? They're willing to provide services that we need. We just haven't asked. And that's one thing this town council has never done. This council and the previous council, other than 2 meetings that I initiated back in 2008, has never sat down with the sheriff's office hierarchy, the sheriff himself, the captains, the operations captain, Lieutenant Coble, and sat down around a table and said, what do you think we need to do? And how are we supposed to, what do you recommend? And I can't believe that you don't ask the chief of police or the one providing law enforcement each year what they think and what you think we need. Our Public Safety Committee made a joint recommendation with the Sheriff's Office 2.5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, a long time.
And that was to have basically one officer per 1,000, about 29 officers. That's when we had 13. The council added 5, two budget seasons ago, and never has done another thing. So it's just bizarre that they don't engage them, they don't talk to them, they don't ask questions. They disband the committee that was a liaison between them. That is very troubling to me. I don't want to get off on that. Maureen?
I'm just thinking, there's obviously never been a formal investigation into the ethics, the behavior of certain council people. And if not, why hasn't that happened? Not even from the people, just from what's been their co-workers say. And if nothing is done on a local level, is it the state attorney general that one can file a complaint with?
Well, I've done a little research on this because I've been to basically every level of state government and beyond to ask about what could be done to look into apparent improprieties. And I've been told that there is a process that that citizens can file a lawsuit if they can get a judge, a sheriff, or a council body, I believe it is, to ask for an investigation. The local government commission, which is under the Attorney General's office, can look into it. I've spoken to the local government commission auditors, and I was told that embezzlement, misappropriation of funds in small towns is very common, and they haven't got the resources to look into it all. She also went on to say that it's also common in nonprofits. We've heard, the United Way and others, and there's other ones down in Union County here and others, because there's no oversight.
But I'm talking about the behavior of individuals that has reflected on people in this town that I've seen on Facebook.
Attacking
and
residents
just
for
like,
their opinions.
just slandering, you know, because they're a council person. Big deal. I mean,
That's a shame.
who cares?
We need ethics oversight. We need, we are a Dillon rule state. You know, anybody know what Dillon rule is? Nobody knows what Dillon rule is. Dillon rule is, was formulated, it was a thought process that came out of, from Judge John Forrest Dillon. He was a Iowa Supreme Court, state Supreme Court judge, I believe, and he became a federal judge. He also taught in Harvard. And he, during the economic revolution there in the 1860s after the Civil War, the big, what do they call that? Anyway, Industrial Revolution. He noted that there was a lot of corruption, where people were flooding to the cities looking for jobs, there was a lot of opportunity for graft and payoffs and giving special favors to developers and businesses, business interests, and he was very disturbed over all that. And you can look him up, John Forrest Dillon, Wikipedia, it's interesting. But he believed that most government officials were not suited to serve by virtue of their experience, character, and otherwise. That he just thought a lot of local officials were substandard. And his theory is that the Constitution of the United States does not mention local government at all. It mentions powers of the federal and powers to the state. And everything that's not delineated to the federal is given to the state. And therefore, the state is the parent of all local government and should exercise oversight. And that was adopted by 38 states. The other is home rule. But under Dillon rule, the state has a right to come in and do investigation and even decertify a state, rewrite its charter. And it's happened. My uncle wrote me a letter not long ago. Lewiston, Maine was so corrupt that the state finally came in and shut it down for 2 years and rewrote its charter and put people back in there after they got out of there and hopefully run it right. I think we need to resurrect Dillon rule. I think the state legislature should act on Dillon rule and look into, because it's in our state statutes that the local government only has the power that's given to them specifically by statute. And my argument has been this group is exercising powers they don't have. And evidence of that is this resolution to ban me from town hall. I spoke to the head of the School of Government. Well, she and I don't agree on much. But what she did agree on with me was that this resolution states that the town manager, at his or her discretion, may require that I communicate with him only in writing, which he's done. He doesn't answer my phone calls or talk to me.
That's not true.
Okay. It is true.
We're paying you.
And the current manager shall not enter non-public areas of any town office without specific authorization of the town manager. And what she told me was that the town manager cannot tell an elected official to do anything. Has no power whatsoever to tell an elected official what to do. So therefore, this is on its face absolutely unenforceable and illegal, if you will. There's no basis. And I've been different places in the town hall. No one's ever challenged me. And the reason they've never challenged me is because there isn't anything they can challenge me on. I can come and go as I please. I've been told that there's no way I'm going to get arrested. There's no basis for this whatsoever. But that kind of thing. And this was done as nothing more than a smackdown, a character assassination, just to put me in my place. Because I didn't. I'm sorry?
What they've been doing to you all
Well,
along.
that's what they do. If you don't agree, and I'm supposed to accept it.
You have integrity, that's your biggest problem.
My sin is that
You're honest.
I just didn't take my punishment, Mrs. Howe. I just didn't accept what was being doled out. And, I just didn't go crawling up under my rock and let things just happen and go along with the program. Well, I think it's about time we end this because I want to get off.
I think we all ought to thank Mayor Quinn for everything he's done.
I appreciate you all, and,
Can I say something?
Sure, man, sure. I hear young people speak.
I'm Roger's daughter. And I know that, some of you guys don't know him like I do. When my dad first ran for this, he inspired me.
It's okay. Take your time. That's it. You got help with time.
After he won, he inspired me to run for my senior class officer position.
Good.
And I won. And I know you guys all don't agree with him. I just think that people don't agree with me. And I don't like it when people talk about my family. Because you're talking about the person I look up to. You're talking about my hero. I don't like politics. I'll just say that outside. I'll just say that outside. But to see how rude people are to my dad, they don't know him. They don't see what he goes through. I do. I see what he does and how he works so hard and everything else. I just wanted
I would like to say, I know your mom actually. I do not know your dad personally. I met him once at Costco. And that was because she likes the art in my house, and I still have the name for you. This has nothing to do with your husband. This goes back to last year when your husband wasn't even considering anything for this position. My family was personally attacked by two individuals, and my husband it takes a lot to get him to get real angry, but me. And what hurt me was elected officials publicly made fun of my husband and my good name. And how dare they? Because I would never do that to them. Because they are accountable for their own actions. So my speech had nothing to do with your father.
Well, that's what she's starting to say.
Yeah, and
bad-mouthing.
It's terrible what goes on. It's terrible, and it comes from two people who are horrible. They're just, well, the two that attacked my family.
There is a culture here that your dad seems like a good guy, and I don't know him either. I mean, I've sat in about 2 meetings with him.
He's a very good guy.
And I really appreciate what you said. What's your name? I'm sorry.
Jacqueline.
Okay. Because my wife has gone through a lot of help.
Oh, yeah.
And I think my kids, and my family, and they've all told me, yeah, out. But I'm a guy who believes in people. And I'm a guy who, if I run and I told people I'm going to stand up for them, I will stand up for them. And I've helped a lot of folks. People have come to me and asked me to help them, and that's my job. My job is not to deal with the stuff that goes on here. My job is to help the people of Indian Trail when they have a problem or an issue that they need some assistance with. And that's all I've been trying to do.
Well, you guys could, because the bashing of my husband, when you guys sit here and you say that he hasn't done anything, some of you, please stop bashing him. He's here to help you. He's not here to go he's here to help Indian Trail. And that is it. He cares about this town. He loves this town. He brought his family of 6 to this town. And he wants to see it prosper into what it can prosper and grow as it's growing. Don't sit there and bash him. My children see the Facebook stuff with Stanton, Roger Stanton, this, he hasn't done it.
Welcome.
He hasn't done it. If it's welcome to politics, that's where it No, you don't have to have a tough skin. That's where it can stop.
Well,
Amen. That's
Stop.
what we're talking
you're right,
Stop
that's why we're
bashing.
here. That's why we're here.
My husband has not bashed one person.
But this goes back to 2
I know,
years ago.
but I'm
People
talking about
bashing on
now.
Facebook.
I'm talking
People
about
bashing
now.
businesses.
talking about
This
that
is
now.
silly.
I know, no.
If they
I'm talking
think you
about
can
now.
delete things on Facebook, you can, because I have stuff written by people on this. I don't even know your husband.
No, and I know, and my husband has actually said things to them about it. He
Maybe we'll
stands
get rid
up
of them.
One of the
and he
things,
tells them, bashing does not get you anywhere.
one of the things I've got to say is I really like your husband, okay? I think that he is a very, very, very honorable gentleman. And I think that that he is honestly helping the people of Indian Trail. But I'm going to say this honestly, and this is going to come from my heart, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way. What's happening is he's being drugged in with a group of people that have really upset us.
Yeah.
And
He's not being drugged in.
it appears that way.
It appears that
It
way,
appears
and I
that way.
understand it appears that way, but he can't, he's one person.
I know, but what I'm saying is that if he would step out of those people, then I really feel that he would be a great councilman.
Then you should speak to him because
I
he
will.
has. Because he has backed out. He is not a part of whatever you guys think he is. He is one person and only one person.
I need to interject here for a minute. Art, Roger and I have had conversations back and forth that public vote. I don't think we've bashed each other. We've just stated facts and disagreed and disagreed. He has stepped outside the box.
Good for him.
He is his own man.
Good for
He
him. That's what it's all about.
agrees with some of the things
That's what we
that
want.
the town law, he agrees with some of the things, but he also voiced publicly, and they're on my Facebook page, things that he doesn't agree with. But it doesn't matter. He is his own man, and he has put himself out there
Well,
more than anybody else has. That's
I don't know
running
why
even
he's-
with him.
I would like to say something. I sent an email asking some questions to a lot of people. Mr. Stanton was the only one that answered every question, and when he couldn't, he said, give me a couple of days and I'll find you the answer. I got a professional email with the right answers, pointing me to where I needed to go. No rhetoric, no
Opinions?
opinions or anything else. It
And that's
was
what you're gonna,
very
that's what you're gonna get,
professional
and that
and
is what
extremely
we need.
businesslike.
That's what
I
this whole
didn't get-
board is supposed to be standing for everybody.
I didn't get that
To
from
give
some
that
of the other
information.
members.
Sometimes-
I know.
Unfortunately, and this is not supposed to be a political meeting here, please. Unfortunately, perception wins out from reality. So sometimes the good guy is stuck in with a group. Like I said, watch the actions of what people do and don't label people because they sit next to somebody that has done you wrong. And I don't remember. I don't know. And I don't know your name. Jackie.